This painting appears incomplete, unfinished, partial, except it's not. This is the final iteration with no desire to continue the pattern further. The artist, Keith Haring, chose to leave it in this way. He died of AIDS shortly after its creation, leaving this piece as his last mark on the world. It's haunting. The dripping of the paint echoing his own life slowly dripping away and his inability to fight against it. The joy and the animation of the subjects contrasted with the blank empty void adjacent is truly heartbreaking when you consider that Herring knew his lifespan was short, and by leaving it incomplete, so to say, it parallels how his own life was soon to be cut short. Loss is universal. Everyone has lost, whether a family member, a friend, a beloved object, or even a memory. We lose constantly, whether we like it or not. And much like the impending slow approach of death, loss in some form or another is inevitable. Art has many ways of encapsulating loss, whether in implicit forms expressing a personal loss or by visually depicting the loss of many. Valiant Hearts is a game about loss. Is a story of war, and regardless of whether you look at the lives lost, the time, resources, at the end of it all, there really are no winners. It perfectly encapsulates what it means to lose something, with each individual character losing someone precious to them as a result of war. The game follows a series of events occurring throughout World War I and gives the perspectives of a husband sent to war, followed by his father, an American seeking revenge after his wife died as a result of conflict, and a daughter searching for her father. Each their own reason for fighting, but all share the same traits. They've all lost. It starts out positive, cheerful even, as we see Emil, one of the four main protagonists, meeting new people and building camaraderie on the battlefield. Each character has a reason to be there: Emil for his son, Freddie for his wife, and Anna for her father. Each has lost someone and is searching for some way to bring them back. But as time goes on, the game continues to remind you that despite victories, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of lives lost, all in the name of victory. War is unyielding. Emil and his friends conquer countless enemies, cover thousands of miles of ground, and push the enemy far back past the front line, and yet their reward is a medal and the promise of continued fighting. There is no winning until it's won. This repetition and endless cycle of death slowly eats away at Emil, being pushed constantly to march forward, despite the inevitability of death on all sides. The loss becomes overwhelming, and he just eventually snaps. The game ends with the biggest loss of all. Emil himself is court-martialed for his actions, and in a final heartbreaking letter to his daughter, tells her he is proud even in death and that he hopes they meet again soon in heaven. Valiant hearts, the courageous and noble individuals who fought not for themselves but for others. The title in French, Mémoires de la Grande Guerre, translates directly to Memories of the Grand War. It's a memory, a recollection of a series of events happening to a few unique individuals that shows only a small fraction of the overwhelming pain and loss created by the wars. Memories are our ways of dealing with loss. We remember loved ones we have lost and cherish the times and joy we spent with them and hope that whatever life they may have passed on to, that they will continue that happiness and that they will be remembered fondly. Memories themselves can be lost. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a horrible movie, but in the best way. It's awful. heartbreaking, crushing, and made me cry more than any piece of media I've ever witnessed in my life. Joel wakes up, he calls in sick for work and hops on a train. He meets a girl, Clementine, and they begin talking. It's awkward, uncomfortable, and yet feels natural. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that the relationship has its faults. There's friction and conflict to the point where Clementine just vanishes. Joel finds her, but she has no recollection of him, no interest or memory of Joel or anything about their relationship. Joel soon finds out about a company, Lacuna, that has erased all memory of him from her mind to save her the pain of the breakup. He becomes distraught and angry, but decides that the best course of action is to do the same. Takes items, drawings, notes, memories of the two, and the doctor begins the procedure. Joel is unconscious, asleep, but slowly becomes aware of his surroundings. He knows what's happening, and that's where the tragedy begins. We watch as he relives events and memories from the relationship, happy, sad, painful, and everything in between. The shots are unnatural, almost scary, like we really are walking through the mind of Joel. He begins to speak with Clementine, or rather the subconscious version of her that exists in his memories. They talk about what went wrong and why they didn't work, but Joel dares to ask what if? What if they didn't lose each other? What if he fought against this procedure, the memory loss? What if he could just break free and escape and they could be together in love? What if? No matter what he does, what he tries, what he pleads, and what happens in the outside world, it is futile. Loss is inevitable. He wakes up, cold and sick for work, hops on a train and meets a girl, Clementine. They get a second chance. They get to fall in love all over again. This film is science fiction. It's not a reality we currently live in and may never, but it feels all too real. Memories are shared and cherished, even worshipped, and the thought of forgetting or losing something near and dear to us is not just a possibility, but a widespread reality. We forget things all the time. You might lose your keys or forget where you left your wallet, but even if they never show up, we can simply replace them. They are material, not personal, like a loved one. It's common to go through life and experience many things and people, but to also forget those things in place at the now or more important aspects of you. But sometimes it's not only unavoidable, it's unforgiving. Alzheimer's is the scariest disease on the planet. It is one thing to lose a father or a son, a friend because of an accident or an illness, but to slowly watch as they slip further and further from the person you knew, it's soul-shattering. It starts out slow, but as time goes on, you realize that the repetitions and poor recollection are no coincidence. The memories, the joy, and the past becomes non-existent. Nothing. They're just gone. That explores the horrors and hardships faced by those with and around dementia. It is, in a sense, an illness entirely centered around loss, about losing and slowly fading away. In a sense, all we can do is try. Try to help them remember, give them love, kindness, make the pain feel less like a losing battle and more like a final chance to show your love. Dementia is not a choice, it's forgetting how to remember. Love while you still can, and long after they can't love you back. Thank you.